my name is CODENAMEBIGBEAR if you want to call me by my first name. Today we are talking about Iron Man VR. We're doing a full review this time. Actually, after the whole game, I've completed the game. Well, I played the game at least anyway, I finished it. Yeah, we're going to have a talk through about my feelings for this compared to how it was with the demo, I suppose. But before we do that, obviously we're going to do the usual thing. So guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You've got a notification bell. You can put a comment below. You do all your things below. You know, we've got over nearly 600 videos on YouTube right now, and we have tons of stuff on our website as well. Loads of news articles and lists and all sorts of stuff going on there as well. So check that out as well. All the links are below. But in the meantime, we'll just go back to the normal programming, shall we? So a couple weeks ago, I played Iron Man VR, the demo, and I did a video for it. And if you watched it, you know that I was extremely excited and I completely gushed over everything about it. But yeah, I had a really good time with this game, or the demo, and yeah, you're flying through, you're saving Pepper from the plane, you're doing your time trials, all that kind of thing as well. It's really great fun, perfectly controlled. Now, everything with this game actually stands, you know, the controls, and when you're flying around as Iron Man, yes, it is honestly perfect. It's so good. It's just you feel like Iron Man flying through this game and doing your thing. So obviously I want to talk about ups and downs of this game and, you know, like what's good about it, what's bad about it, as much as I possibly can. Now, first off, the good thing is what I just mentioned, is the flight. It is playing Iron Man, it's being Iron Man in this game and flying around doing your thing. A downside to that is when you are Tony Stark. Now, it's no problem being Tony at all. Yeah, it's really quite cool. You get to do some stuff around your apartment, and you even get to build up the costumes, and you want to say build up the costumes. No Iron Man customization, full customization, but there is a customization to the weapon loadouts at least anyway, and that's really cool. You get to listen to a podcast from Tony Stark's cousin. But yeah, you've got some really cool stuff. But the thing with Tony is, instead of flying around and moving around smoothly as you are when you're Iron Man, when you're Tony, you just teleport about the house. Which is fine, you know, it's not a problem with that at all, because they've got set areas they want you to go. But sometimes I want to go up to, say, the trophy cabinet and pick up a trophy and have a look around, or I want to go down to a part of the garage they won't allow you to go down until later on in the game, and I want to look at the old car that's there, and I want to explore and do some stuff. And that's easily possible, especially after playing the free experience Spider-Man Far From Home, where you get literally just run. And you can climb up walls, and you can web swing and do your thing as well. So I was expecting something like that to happen in Iron Man. It's probably my own fault for really expecting it after playing those experiences. But yeah, so when you're Tony Stark, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do, and, you know, but you got to teleport around. You can't move around freely. Except when you're Iron Man, you can really move around freely, which is always good fun. But then that gives me to another point that I want to talk about, and that's the graphics. Now, graphically, this game is actually is really good in some parts and really shoddy in others. So let me explain what I mean. So the first level is the airplane level. You've seen that. If you've watched the video, you've seen how that looks. It looks really great. You know, you've got this amazing environment, and you kind of fly around. You've got a plane. You put the fire back together and do all that kind of thing as well. And then you go to the you're at Malibu as well, and you're doing your Malibu flight test, and that all looks great as well. The water looks amazing, you know, all the rocks and the area, the house kind of looks really cool. But one thing I didn't notice when playing the demo, because I was very excited to play the game, is that there's some graphical inequalities right there. I mean, so the water looks amazing, yet if you look at the houses behind Tony's house, it doesn't look as good. The bit that really got me when this happened, when I was playing the main game, I was, you know, we just done the airplane bit, and we're going to Shanghai. So already I'm like, oh yes, we're gonna see Shanghai. It's gonna look amazing. I can't wait for this. And I got there, and it disappointed. It reminded me of Superman 64. Hopefully I can put up some things. It reminded me of Superman 64, except with no rings. Although you can do flight trials later, so you can add those rings in if you really want to feel like Superman. But yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to explain this. So in the trailer, there was the gameplay trailer. There's sections of Shanghai that look really high res and look really amazing, except it doesn't have that not actual gameplay footage logo on it. That only appears when Tony is actually, you know, you see Iron Man full on. So there's something going on there. So when you actually get to the main game, everything is kind of scaled wrong. The buildings aren't as big as you expect them to be. You know, all the windows are literally just kind of blue dots, you know, lights, I suppose. And the area is just kind of spaced weird. It doesn't feel like a real city at all, especially when this is supposed to be a real city. That was very disappointing. Another thing about the graphical side of things as well, another downside is the enemies themselves. There's only 6 enemies really, 6 enemies, a couple of bosses here and there. And these enemies vary up by changing their colour, green, red, pink, that kind of thing. And these enemies are drones, so even though the drones do kind of look cool, again, they do remind me of earlier gameplay. So like, again, let's go back to Superman 64, like blocky PS1, N64 style blocks. Hopefully I can put up an image of the tanks and the drones, and you can see kind of where I'm coming from. Although they have been smoothed out and rendered much better, obviously, it still has that reminiscent of old polygonal gaming. Another downside to this game is the fact that your area, your levels are recycled. You only have really about 4 or 5 areas in a game that you can actually play as Iron Man in and do your thing, and they just kind of recycle them over and over again, which kind of sucks. You know, it's just a bit of a pain in the bum, you know, especially when you've done Shanghai and you've done your mission there, and you go to Afghanistan and you do your thing there as well, and then you're back at Shanghai again, and it's, oh, okay. I mean, Tony has the Tower of New York. Where's New York? Why am I not flying around Statue of Liberty doing something there? Why am I not in London, for instance? You know, you could do all sorts of stuff. So they recycle the environments there a little bit, and that was a bit of a shame. Another thing they kind of recycle is also the boss battles as well. Your boss battles are the same thing over and over again. You know, so you're fighting Ghost, and it's kind of a similar pattern. There's slight variance in this, which isn't a problem at all. Obviously, it's just how the game's going to go. But these variants are only slight, and it kind of only is there to serve the story. At points, you have Ghost right in your face, and you're there going, I can just blast her, I can, punch her, or do something. And you can't do anything at all because it's a cutscene. And also that kind of brings me to cutscenes in this game. So there's a lot of time. You'd be playing for half an hour, but for 20 minutes of that, you might just be stood there watching 2 people have a conversation about you, or you got no kind of interaction. You can't really move around. You can't. You'll have Friday and you'll have Gunsmith kind of arguing at each other. So there's a lot standing around with that. Yes, I don't want to give this game any more grief, kind of thing. It's obviously limited, but when it was advertised as a AAA VR experience, the first of its kind type thing, I was expecting a few more things to come in. So again, better graphics in all the levels, a bit more interaction that you can do around, be able to move around as Tony kind of in your own apartment. That'll be in your home, sorry. That would have been really cool. But there are lots of upsides to this game as well, which I am quite excited. So obviously, again, when you're Iron Man, flying around doing your thing, you can change up all your weapons, you can buy all this kind of things as well. You buy all your upgrades to your armor and stuff, which is awesome. When you're actually battling and you're flying over, I want to say Skybase, the helicarrier, you're flying through the helicarrier to find another droid, and you're kicking its butt. And you're kind of engrossed in everything that's going on around you. It's really good fun. Like, don't get me wrong, everything about it is really good fun. You have these arenas and you have these battles, and just kick ass. It really is very fun. But then you have the story as well, and the story is really good actually. So basically, the whole story is about Tony kind of giving up the arms dealership thing, I suppose. He's passing on Pepper, and they're no longer making lethal weapons. Not this guy, but they're no longer making lethal weapons, and Ghost has turned up, and she has a grudge against Tony for something that happened in her past because of Tony's weapons that he sold. So she's trying to get revenge on him as best she possibly can. So you go through the story and you kind of have to figure out who Ghost is. I mean, obviously, if you've read the comics, you already know, or why she's kind of going for him. But this is kind of more for people that maybe have only seen the films, haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, and don't know that backstory or anything like that as well. And they kind of, you have lots of stuff to do. So in the story, you know, you have to make decisions throughout as well. You always get a couple options up on the screen. You know, say for instance, in the first part with the airplane, you have Friday and she's talking to you, and she's like, oh, you know, Pepper's putting out some fires, and you got to choose. Did I start that, or was it kind of a figurative fire? And obviously it depends on how witty you want Tony to be. There was a decision at one point that I'd made, and as soon as it happened, I really wish I didn't do it. Yeah, that kind of, oh, I felt really, really bad about that. Yeah, but then the story progresses, and at some points, and the last few hours of the game, I was honestly like buzzing. There's something you unlock in the game, and I was so excited for it, and I was really annoyed that when I went back to play through the game again, it wasn't already unlocked for me, but it makes sense as a story piece. But it was really cool. It was honestly one of my favourite moments in the game, and it was a lot later in the game as well. But yeah, so positive things about this game. The music in this game is fantastic. It is genuinely amazing. You feel like a superhero. You're flying through with a all that kind of thing going on, and it's really cool. You know, you're punching enemies out the way, and everything interacts really well once you've got your VR working properly. You know, and you know, you got this really cool story, and I'm genuinely invested in Tony's life and everything else that's going on with it, and I was just so happy with the end result of this game. Now, there was one thing that I did mention in my demo review, was that I felt that the loading screens were too frequent and quite long. And I did actually mention that, you know, I thought that this might, if this was a thing that was going to be happening in the game, I was worried that it was going to be a thing. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so the loading screens are really long. You know, you up to a minute, maybe 2 minutes sometimes. It depends on what's going on, and they're pretty frequent as well. So at one point you can have a conversation. You can finish your mission. You come back, have a quick loading screen, and you're in a garage, and you see Gunsmith and Friday talking, and then you're back to a quick loading screen, or even just a black screen that just kind of takes a little while to load up because you've got to go to your next mission or whatever, and you've got to do your next part of the story. That was annoying. So like I said, there's a lot of standing around in this game. But did I enjoy this game? Hell yes, I enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed this game. Even though it has its flaws, and I hope they patch it out, and I hope they sort the stuff out. You know, like maybe add some more enemies and things like that as well, maybe more costumes. There's only a few costumes you can actually unlock, and I think it's because of the digital deluxe or deluxe edition, where it's like 5 costumes you can unlock just by buying that, but you can't make them up, or customization on it. I just really hope there's loads of things that's going to be coming to this game. But for 30 quid, it's really worth it. It's a really great game. I had so much fun doing it. In the 8 to 10 hours or so that I actually played, I felt like Iron Man. I was really enjoying myself. I just wish there was less loading screens, and I wish there was a few more environments. But for all of that, yeah, I'm going to give this game a 4. So in the demo, I was really up for like giving it a 10 or a 9. I'm gonna give this game a 7. The reason I'm giving it a 7 is because there are a few flaws that bring it down, but by no means, and it's only purely because of loading times and graphical promises kind of thing that have really kind of dampen this down, because there's so much in this game that you can do. You can do time trials, you can do battle trials, you can do free flight, you can do all sorts of stuff in this game. But I think 7 is appropriate because, one, it's a really great game. Just there's a few things that bring it down. So that's my score for Iron Man. But guys, that's my take on Iron Man VR. I try to be as non-spoilery as possible. If I have spoiled something, I do apologise, but I've tried my best. It's a really good game, as I said, you know, definitely worth playing. But let me know what you think. If you played this game, you know, let me know in the comments down below as much as you can as well. Again, as usual, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all that. And just be nice to each other, yeah?